Okay. So, you know how, like, you told us your knee story?
Yep.
About how you just ignored the demon?
Yep.
So, I have another fun story.
Okay.
We like these body stories, apparently.
Yes.
So when I was little, my dad got into a car accident, and my back got injured, and I was pretty little, elementary school age, and the doctors had said that I was going to have cartilage damage in my vertebrae in my back.
Yeah, and you were too young to know that not to accept that curse.
Oh, I was way too young. I did not understand that, and my dad didn't understand that yet either. Yeah. That wasn't something that he had learned yet, because some of these things we got to learn over time, right? Mm-hmm. And so they had said this. Obviously, we came into agreement with it in some fashion, because as I became a teenager, I started to have these problems in my lower back. And when I started riding horses regularly, I had one summer where I'd been riding a lot, and my lower back was really, really painful. Mm-hmm. And I woke up one morning and I couldn't get out of bed.
Oh wow!
And it was almost like the vertebrae had gotten stuck, and I was bent in half, and I couldn't get out of bed.
Oh wow!
And
yeah, that demon was poking you.
He was poking me hard.
Oh yeah,
he was poking me hard. And my dad had took me to a chiropractor, and he had to carry me because I couldn't stand up.
Wow.
And they did some like massage therapy and moved some things around and gave me some painkillers, and they're like, okay, well, you have to quit riding horses because you're aggravating the vertebrae too much, mm-hmm. and you're going to cause it to squish.
Oh, another curse.
And
great.
I was like, this time I was a little bit smarter, because I looked at my dad and I said, well, that's never going to happen. You'll have to bury me before that happens.
Ooh, don't curse yourself like that. Now you denied one person and created another curse for yourself.
Oh no, right? These are the things that we do, right?
Yeah.
I was so adamant about the fact that I was not going to quit riding horses.
Yep.
Just because some doctor thought that there was a problem with my back.
Yep.
Well, here's the funny thing. After that, I never had any back problems.
Oh, really?
And I rode for years after that, and I never had any issues riding.
Oh, because you canceled that curse.
Because I canceled the curse of what was happening, but I didn't know that that's what I had done. And my sarcasm about you'll have to bury me didn't come to pass because I was being very sarcastic.
Yeah.
And the demons all knew I was being sarcastic, and they couldn't actually kill me. Mm-hmm. And I had enough of a relationship with Yeshua at that point that they really did not have the authority to do that kind of thing.
Yes.
So sometimes we're protected in our ignorance. Thank you, Yahweh. Right?
Yeah, that's important.
Because we're too dumb to know better sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
And it's really important and valuable that you are not held accountable for knowledge you don't yet have.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So, anyways, so I didn't have any more problems riding horses, and things were great, and I hardly even noticed that there was ever any pain in my back. And I would make jokes to my dad that I wasn't able to shovel the snow anymore because, the chiropractor said I can't do those kind of motions. It really didn't get me out of shoveling snow, but I thought it would.
That's funny.
But so then years later, so I was in my my late teenage years and early 20s when that had happened. And then later when I was in my 40s, I went to Afghanistan and with the military, and I had to wear this armor. And every day you're wearing this heavy armor, and fully loaded, the armor's like 75 pounds.
Wow. And
because I'm a woman, it makes it even more difficult because the armored vests are made for men.
Oh.
And a man's chest is flat. A woman's chest is not. And so, okay, well, some of them are, but mine is not. And so the armor plating would stick out funny because I had to get a bigger size vest in order to compensate for the different body parts.
Oh, okay.
And they're made so that the way they're made is you're supposed to be able to tighten them down on your sides so that you're not putting so much weight on your back.
Yep.
Because otherwise your shoulders are holding all the weight. Well, so my shoulders were holding all the weight because I couldn't tighten them down the way it was supposed to.
Oh, okay.
So after just shy of a year, around a year, maybe 9 months of being out there, I woke up one morning and I could not stand up. It was the same thing like had happened when I was riding horses. But this time, the pain was a little bit different, and it felt like something had changed in my back. And I was like, I don't understand. I don't know what happened. And I couldn't stand up. And you know, there's a story of the woman in the Bible where she's literally bent in half.
Yep.
And YHWH says, isn't it right that a child of Yahweh should be released on the Sabbath of her demon affliction?
Yeah.
And so, like, that was the story that I remembered, is because that's how I felt, is like I was curved in half and there was nothing I could do about it. Mm-hmm. And so they took me down to the medic, and the medic tries to manipulate my back, and I heard something pop. And I was like, oh, what did you do? Because the pain increased, not decreased. I was like, you totally moved something, you broke something, you did something, because it's not supposed to make that kind of noise.
No.
And so this medic says to me, well, here's some muscle relaxers. Why don't you go sleep for 2 days and see how you feel?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, this is the medical attention we get.
That is not good medical attention.
And I didn't yet know, I still did not yet know that these were demons and you could cast the demons out, right?
Yep. Uh-huh.
So that was the best sleep I got the entire time I was in Afghanistan, by the way, which was great. I was very excited about these muscle relaxers because I slept great for 2 days.
That's pretty good in a war zone.
I know, right? Like, I normally didn't sleep hardly at all while I was there.
Yeah.
But for those 2 days, I slept spectacular. I slept through all kinds of things that I should not have slept through. But anyways, so slowly, my back started to feel a little better. But it definitely was not fixed. And whatever this young medic had done had made it worse. And so I was like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on here, but we're going to ignore this demon because I don't have time for this. But I didn't know it was a demon, so I'm like, I'm just going to ignore the pain. I'm just going to figure out how to do this and how to get done, because I am not going back to one of their medics for them to make it worse.
Yeah, that does not sound good.
Right?
Yeah.
So I get home after having been there for 18 months. Then I go home, and after I get home, I go to a chiropractor. And I'm like, okay, so like something happened, and I'm just trying to figure out what happened, and so I can figure out how to get my back into alignment and stop having these moments where the pain would be just really intense, right? And so the chiropractor took some x-rays, and he said I had squished the bottom disc in my lower back.
Oh, wow.
And that it wasn't, which is really interesting, because when I'd been in the car accident, they told me that I was going to have scar tissue damage around that same area of the vertebrae. And when the chiropractor took x-rays of my back, there was no scar tissue.
Oh, really?
And the only problem that he found was the disc was squished. And I didn't think about it at the time until later. I didn't think about it at the time, but I should have been kind of thinking, well, how come there's no scar tissue from the prior injury? Why is it only a squished disc? But I didn't think about that. And so for a couple of years, I had a chiropractor manipulating my back to relieve the pain whenever the pain would get too much, right? Well, then when I found deliverance ministry, I found out, all these things are demons. And these sicknesses and these injuries and things are just being caused by demons. And I was like, well, I don't have to go to a chiropractor anymore. I can just cast out the demon, right? I can resolve this problem with getting rid of the demon. Mm-hmm. And so I was in my apartment, and I was listening to the Happy Hunters, and Charles and Francis Hunter, and I was watching one of their little videos, and they had used chiropractors to explain to people how demons would affect their body. And so I'm watching this video, and they've got this chiropractor on the stage, and he's explaining how the vertebrae fit in your back and how it affects your hips and your legs and all these different things, right? And then Charles Hunter, he goes, yeah, that sounded all great and all scientific and stuff, but here's the easy way to fix the problem. And he gets someone to come up on stage who's had lots of back problems. He sets her in a chair, and he picks up her feet by her ankles, and he holds her feet out and shows and he's just bracing his hands under her feet like this. And he shows how one leg is slightly longer than the other. Maybe do it this way for the sake of the camera. One leg's just slightly longer than the other. And all he said was, grow. Oh. And the foot moved forward and evened itself out.
Wow.
And then he put her feet down, and he picked them back up, and they were exactly the same length. And I was like, well, that's so cool. Like, I got super excited. So I was like, well, that's fascinating. And then he had another person come on stage, and you could see the way they were standing. One hip was higher than the other. So he put one hand on each side of their hips and told the hips to rotate back into position. And he's not praying, he's not screaming, nothing. Just very gently put his hands on the hips and commands it to rotate. And I don't remember which one rotates which direction, but commanded it to rotate, and you could see the person literally shift. Their body shifted as the hip went back into place. And I was like, well, that'll work for me if it worked for them. And so I sat down on my floor, because I can't hold my own feet up, So I sat down on the floor, and I put my back against the wall, and I stretched my feet out, and one leg was shorter than the other.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, maybe that's why my back hurts. And maybe it has nothing to do with a squished disc. Maybe there's a demon that's like holding it or something. I don't know. Like, I'm coming up with all kinds of ideas, right? And so I look at my foot, and I just say the same thing he did. I'm like, grow. Like, come back into alignment the way you're supposed to. And hips rotate into position. And I watched my foot literally, like, even out.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, that's fascinating, right? And so I got all excited, and I jumped up, and I had been I'd been measuring myself on the wall because these videos from Charles and Francis Hunter, they said, well, when you fix the back problems, people get taller. So I had put marks on my wall, just like a little kid, to see how tall I was, right? So I stood up, and I measured myself, and I was 1.5 inches taller.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's super fun.
That is.
And my sister and I had always had this like running joke, my younger sister, because she had gotten taller than me. Mm-hmm. And so she was the youngest, so she should be the shortest one, but she had gotten taller than me. And so I knew how tall I was supposed to be because of this running joke that we had. And I put the mark on the wall, and I'm like, I'm the same size as my sister now. and so then I went to bed, and I think because my sister was there, so she must have been sleeping already. But so I went to bed and woke up the next morning, and before I got out of bed, I like stretched, and my whole back, it felt like it cracked. Like, you know how like when you twist funny and you hear the popping noise of your back? It felt like my whole back came into alignment when I stretched out. And I was like, oh, I'm completely healed. And I jumped out of bed. I was so excited because I knew I was healed. I knew that there was nothing wrong with my back anymore. Yes. I didn't know that I was delivered. I thought I was healed.
Yeah.
I thought that it was the word healed, but it was actually the word delivered because a demon had come out of my back. And the first thing I did was go stand against the wall to check and see how tall I was. Because if my back is fixed, then I'm 1.5 inches taller, like I had been last night, right? And it was almost like getting this revelation twice.
It was even taller?
No.
Oh.
I'm saying, like, because I'd felt it the night before, but I didn't have time to tell anybody. And when I woke up, it was like confirming that, oh yeah, you really did get this, really did happen yesterday. You're not imagining this thing.
Oh, okay.
Like, it really did happen. And so I measured myself, and I was taller. And so I went and woke up my sister, and I'm like, Roberta, I'm taller than you. And she's like, no, you're not. You've never been taller than me. And so she comes in my room, and she measures me on the wall, and she goes, wow, you actually grew. How did you grow overnight? So I have to tell her the whole story. And ever since then, anytime there's been any kind of pain that shows up in my back, I'm like, oh no, you're a demon, because I already got delivered from this.
Yep.
And like, before that happened, I was probably at the chiropractor once a week.
Wow.
Maybe once in 2 weeks. Like, sometimes I could make it 2 weeks, but the pain would be so much I couldn't deal with the pain if I didn't go have my back adjusted. Mm-hmm. After that happened, I haven't been to a chiropractor since.
Wow.
That's
totally awesome.
Totally restored my vertebrae in my back, and obviously made it grow. Like, whatever demon was holding it in the squished position came back, because I didn't have any more pain. And when I would sit in the car for too long, if I was driving and I'd sit in the car too long, it would squish my sciatic nerve, and then my leg would go numb. And they were all interconnected because my hips were being twisted to pinch off that nerve.
Yeah.
And because this demon is trying to cripple me. And ever since that deliverance, I haven't had a problem with it.
Great.
For sticking around.
Great.
And so, to add humor in, because we really like our funny stories, so we had an opportunity after that when Eric and I were on vacation together, and I was feeling this pain in my back, and I came to him.
Yeah.
I came to him and I said, Eric, you gotta pray for my back, because I'm feeling this, like, pain in my back. Mm-hmm. And he starts laughing. He goes, oh, you mean a demon's got a spear in your back? Why don't you tell it to get out?
So I metaphorically grabbed it and said, get out. Grab the spear and get out. And then the pain went away.
It went away. And, like, instantly.
Yep.
And we're sitting there laughing, and the pain's just disappearing.
Yep.
And
pretty amazing.
It is amazing, right?
Yeah. And I'm glad you're not going to a chiropractor anymore, because in order to make the guy that invented this chiropractic or whatever, studied or whatever like that, he did a seance, and a demon told him that he was a doctor, and this is what you should do to create the chiropractor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, see, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, same thing with medicine. Medicine's pharmakia, which is the Greek word for witchcraft, where we get our pharmakia from.
And this is why words matter.
Yes, they do.
This is why we need to know where things came from and what the meanings behind the words are. Because
and the power behind them.
Right. Then
what's the power behind a thing called witchcraft? What's the power behind somebody that's doing a seance? Create something, yeah.
Exactly what I'm saying, yeah. Because if you don't know what the power behind it is, then you're allowing that power to affect your life.
Yes.
And you're coming into agreement with that power. Instead of putting an end to what the enemy's doing, you're actually giving him permission to be in your life. And this is why we talk about so many different topics, right? But this is why you can't have mixing in your life. Why, if you're going to be a believer in Yeshua, you have to kick out all the rest of the things out of your life.
Yeah.
You can't worship more than one God.
You can't.
Because if you do, the demons will take advantage of you.
Yep.
They will beat you up and harass you and poke on you in any way they can, because they know that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, double-minded man will get nothing. So if you're double-minded with Yahweh, you're going to get nothing.
Yeah, or you're going to get a whole lot of affliction.
Yeah.
Because the more you press into Yahweh, the more you realize you can't be playing with demons. You can't give them ground. You have to take your authority and tell them, no, you do not get to touch me. You don't get to touch me, my stuff, my children, anything. My finances, my property. Like, you need to be covering things in prayer and command those demons to stay away from you.
Yep, that's right.
Because they will, Andrew Womack says in some of his teachings, he said, if you don't take this serious, the devil's going to eat your lunch and pop the bag too. And I find that absolutely hilarious. Because the old paper bags,
Yep.
when you would take a sack lunch to school, the bullies would take your lunch and they'd blow in the bag and they'd pop it in front of you. And that's like how the devil acts, is like a giant bully. And why would you allow him to have authority in your life or permission to do things in your life when you have the highest authority in your life? You are seated at the right hand of the Father with the Son, and you have the same authority as Yahweh, Yehoshua, Yeshua, Ruach Hakodesh, all lives inside you.
Yep.
You have that power to tell the demons to take a hike and do not come back.
And they have to.
They have to listen.
Yep.
They have to listen. They really don't have a choice. And so you can't back off. You can't give them room to just come and do what they want. And like we talked about in a different video, is you have to be persistent enough. You have to stand there and say, no, I said no. Get out and do not return. And they will go. They will go.
That's right.
So grab a buddy, take your authority over situations, and kick out those demons.
That's right.